Welcome, everyone. It's so nice to see all of you here or there in the comfort of your own home, considering it's still COVID. But nonetheless, we are so excited that you're all joining us for this very special evening. We have so much in store for you, so let's get started. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Randall Gans. I'm originally from Chicago, but I now live in Detroit with my husband, Chad, and our four-legged best friend, Winston. I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at just 6 months old, and from that day forward, my parents got involved with the CF Foundation, doing anything possible to make an impact. I remember going to black tie events when I was little and not even knowing what it was for and having the time of my life. And we'll get back to those, I promise. My parents, they helped throw events, they did lots of fundraising, and thankfully they passed that fundraising gene on to me because I too love helping to fundraise. Every dollar donated helps us get one step closer to realizing our shared dream, a cure for cystic fibrosis. That's just one of the reasons I'm so excited to be here with each of you for the second annual National Breath of Life celebration. I can already see in the chat so many wonderful people from our CF community. This evening, people are from all over the country, including our friends like Joe O'Donnell from Massachusetts, Rich Mattingly from Maryland, the Huggins family from South Carolina, Nick Kelly from Ohio, Stacy Carmona from California, and Victoria Shaw, Matt Rodgers, and Robin Treadway from Tennessee. Just to name a few, but we'll be here all night. We really are such a diverse community from all walks of life, who are all driven and by a shared dream. We want every person with cystic fibrosis to have the chance to live a long and healthy life. The chance to run a marathon, hey, to each their own, to fall in love, to get married, have children of their own, the chance to pursue a career, to make long-lasting friendships, and to grow old with the ones they love. Put simply, our shared vision is for one day CF to obviously stand for Cure Found. That's why I'm so glad you can join us tonight. So thank you for being driven, as I am, by a dream.
I don't need recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position. I'm staying up. It's getting late. You're doing good. I'm doing great. Recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position. I'm staying up. It's getting late. You're doing good. I'm doing great.
Speaking of driven by a dream, this evening we look forward to spending time with you as we celebrate someone who has never been afraid to dream big. Former CF Foundation Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, Rich Mattingly. Rich is tonight's honoree, and I can see him with us tonight. For nearly 40 years, Rich advanced the CF Foundation's mission through transformative fundraising efforts and his leadership of CF Foundation chapters nationwide. Rich's work fueled extraordinary scientific progress, adding decades of life for those living with this disease. You'll hear so much more about what makes Rich so special to the CF community later this evening. But for now, put your hands together for Rich Mattingly. Now, I would like to highlight a few people and organizations that continue to help fuel our mission. Tonight's celebration truly would not be possible without them. They are our incredible sponsors. There are many that have contributed, and you can see the full list in the digital National Breath of Life Celebration Program book you should have received leading up to this evening's gathering. If not, don't worry. I promise to also drop the link in the chat with you all tonight. For now, I'm going to highlight a little bit about several of our top sponsors. First, we want to thank our presenting sponsors, the Huggins family and the Schaefer family. When Rex Huggins, CEO of Siebel's, learned his daughter, Mary Elizabeth, had CF, he and Jane immediately got involved in fundraising. And like the Huggins, the Schaefer family have been incredible supporters of the foundation. The unwavering support in honor of their daughter, Stephanie, is an inspiration to all of us in the CF community. We also want to recognize our gold sponsors. American Airlines has been an incredible supporter of the CF Foundation's mission for nearly 4 decades. It all started in 1985 when former American Airlines executive Bernie Willett began advocating for people with CF after losing 2 sisters to the disease. Bernie participated at numerous advocacy events, and he brought American Airlines to the CF Foundation as a corporate supporter, helping to establish the American Airlines Celebrity Ski Event, which has raised $40 million. We also want to thank Vertex for over a decade of support to the CF Foundation. Your support has really changed lives for those with CF, including my own. And of course, we want to give a huge thank you to Hal and Sharon Lampert, who are gracious co-chairs of the Wine Masters event out in California. Last, but certainly not least, we recognize friends of Hook the Cure along with IoTech. The 17th annual Hook the Cure, typically held in Puerto Vallarta, went virtual this year. This event has raised over $7 million, and we are excited to thank these incredible supporters this evening. We look forward to hearing from several of our sponsors later tonight. To each and every corporate sponsor that has shown their support, we all thank you. Now, I want to tell you about someone who will make tonight extra special. In 1998, singer and songwriter Victoria Shaw was approached to get involved with the CF Foundation. She generously said yes, and no sooner was meeting with doctors at Vanderbilt Hospital, including former CF Foundation CEO, Dr. Preston Campbell, to learn more about cystic fibrosis. While she was there, Victoria also met children and young adults with CF, and she was so inspired that she knew she had to get involved. Victoria wrote and produced a song called One Heart at a Time, but there was more. Victoria persuaded some of the top country singers to record this song together. It truly was quite a lineup. She was joined by Garth Brooks, Billy Dean, Faith Hill, Olivia Newton-John, Michael McDonald, Neil McCoy, and Brian White. Charlie Coffey from Nashville was the young CF ambassador for the video and touched the hearts of all the entertainers. Over the years, Victoria has remained very involved with the CF Foundation and performs at the Foundation's annual Ultimate Golf Experience, as well as recruiting many top entertainers to support the Foundation's efforts. So for those of you who already know and love Victoria, and for those of you who may be learning about her support of CF for the first time, you are in for a real treat tonight when she performs for us. But for now, it's my pleasure to share the original Song of Hope she and her fellow entertainers recorded together for those living with CF. Here is that memory. Here is that moment. Please enjoy One Heart at a Time.
One heart, one heart, one heart at a time.
For the sound of children laughing is like music to my ears. It's like a choir of angels and they're singing crystal clear. It's the sound of freedom. It's the sound of trust.
It's the way their eyes shine, 'cause they believe in us. It just takes one heart, one heart, one heart at a time.
Can't you see it?
We'll be holding on so strong with your hand in mine. We'll be the links in a powerful chain that can erase the tears and the pain. That's how it starts. One heart, one heart, one heart at a time. For the sight of children running just as fast as they can go makes the breeze so warm and wonderful, it whispers through your soul. They're running towards tomorrow,
Running towards their dreams.
and we can brave that long road if we work as a team. It just takes one heart, one heart, one heart
can erase the tears and the pain. That's how it stands. One heart, one heart, one heart at a time. We can all be heroes in the eyes of a child when they're looking up at us for help. Yes, and we can make a difference. We can go the distance if we are willing to give of ourselves. Just tell one heart, one heart, one heart at a time. Get the picture, and we'll be holding on so strong with your hand in mine. We'll be the links and a powerful chain that can erase the tears and the pain. That's how it starts. One heart, one heart, one heart at a time. One heart, one heart, one heart at a time. We can erase the tears and the pain. One heart, one heart, one heart at a time. Your heart, our heart. One heart, one heart, one heart at a time. That's time it starts. Yeah. One heart, one heart, one heart at a time.
Wow. I don't know about you, but every time I hear that song, I definitely get a little choked up. It's incredible. Thank you, Victoria. We really can't wait to see you perform live for us later this evening. Well, if you're like me, you have had a year that has been full of ups and, yes, of course, some downs. The pandemic continues to challenge us all in new ways. And yet, what I love about this CF community is that it hasn't stopped us from continuing our work to find a cure. It has not come close to deterring us from marching forward so that we can get one step closer to realizing our shared dream. And it's that dream of a cure for CF that unites us every single day. It's what every single person with CF deserves. We will not leave anyone behind. This past year, despite COVID, you could find CF community members finding safe ways outside to have fun together while raising money to advance our mission. We remain tenacious. That is the CF community's hallmark. We are boundlessly determined as those who first established the CF Foundation in 1955. Because every person with CF truly deserves a life free from illness, a life full of joy. Here are just some of the special moments we've shared over the past year.
Time to kick things off. Happy Rose Up Day!
Whenever there is wind in your sails, you're so invincible, nothing can derail you.
I need to thank you all for your donations, for your support, and hopefully into the future, because until there is a cure, our fight isn't done.
It's a miracle, and if you don't believe in miracles, you should start now.
Man, y'all already know what it is. And if you don't, we about to let y'all know. Happy Rose Up Day. Let's get it.
We have to stay braver than we imagine we can be. Stronger than we know we are so
Hi, my name is Liv, and I'm living with cystic fibrosis. I want to thank you for making a gift to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Your support is an investment in my future. It means that people like me, who face the hardship of having CF each day, have real reasons to hope. Put simply, your generosity is impacting many lives in the CF community. With you by our side, I know that together, we can make CF stand for Cure Found.
Good evening, and welcome to the second National Breath of Life celebration, Driven by a Dream. Honestly, we are so glad that you could be here with us tonight. And for those of you who are joining us for year 2 of this celebration, thank you for coming back. As you know, last year was off the hook, and tonight is going to be even better. As you know, maybe some of you, my name is Matt Rodgers, and I'm going to be your MC during this hour. But before we begin, I do want to let you know that, of course, the CF Foundation is being super safe. And so while we are in this beautiful Grand Ole Opry right now, and some of us are in person together, please rest assured that we are taking all of the necessary safety protocols. We're trying to keep a healthy distance from each other, which is tough for some of this close-knit crew, but we are masked when we are off stage and we aren't speaking directly with each and every one of you. Did want to point that out. So now on to the show. For those of you who don't know me, I am the proud father of 3 children, Braden, Mason, and Sam. Sam's our baby girl. Both Mason and Sam were diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when they were born. So like many of you, obviously my wife Terry and I's dream is to find a cure for cystic fibrosis. I want to let you know that Mason and Sam are doing absolutely phenomenal, but like many of you, we want them to live a long and healthy life. We want them to have a chance to pursue whatever it is that they love. Right now for Mason, it's soccer, and for Sam, it's gymnastics and soccer. Precursor, I'm probably going to cry like 17 times tonight, okay? I did a lot last year, and I probably will tonight. So when I talk about my family and what we've been through, and obviously the support that I feel from all of you watching and just where we've come, I do get a little choked up. So now that you guys know that, I can move on. When my wife, Terry, and I first learned that they did have CF, like so many of you, we decided to dedicate our lives to helping advance a cure for the disease. So now for more than 13 years, we've been involved in the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. I remember, I'm 43 years old now. Mason was born when my wife and I were 29 years old. So like pretty much everyone watching, that was something that we did not order off life's menu when we found out that our child had cystic fibrosis. I remember pulling over on the side of the road, crying. I remember being in the hospital, basically begging the doctor and see if I was going to be able to coach my son's football team, baseball team, basketball team. And I'll never forget the first event I went to for cystic fibrosis. It was called Ultimate Golf. And a lady named Helen Johnson, she made me feel absolutely at home. And when I met the people behind the CF Foundation, you're going to hear from some of them tonight. Many of you are watching. It was a point for my wife and I where we really felt like God put y'all in our lives to give us encouragement when we went through the darkest time of our lives. So for many of you new parents watching out there, I have to tell you that your future with your children is 1,000% better than the past. You should be very, very encouraged tonight, like my wife and I are. So with that being said, despite the many ups and downs along our CF journey, we have obviously remained positive. My wife and I remained optimistic, so much so that now at 43 years old, I'm proud to announce that she's pregnant with our 4th baby. So yes, for the 2 people in here, we can cheer about it. But for the thousands of you watching at home, cheer with us, because you know it's the truth. I was telling the CF staff that's here working tonight, if it wasn't for the advancements of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, it would have never gave my wife and I confidence to move forward with number 4. So right now she's at home watching. She's 14 weeks pregnant. Please keep us in your prayers, because we will find out in about 3 weeks if the child does have the diagnosis. But the truth is, either way, because of people like you, we have confidence in moving forward. which is why we're crazy enough to have a baby at 43 years old. All right, with that being said, I'm going back on script. So tonight, we do want to thank so many of you. You're going to hear and see from some amazing people that have donated their time, their talents, and their resources to advance the mission of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So together, we are going to continue to achieve so much. I am sure if I could see you right now, I would see so many familiar faces, and I'd be giving you shout outs in person, but I will be giving you shout outs if you comment in the chats. I know that the Clark family is watching. I know that so many of you are watching, and if we were together, we'd be giving daps and hugs. But tonight, please comment in the chats. We want to hear from you, and we want to know all of the new people. So if you're new to the foundation, if this is your first event, welcome. Seriously, there's nothing quite like this amazing group of people. I can honestly tell you that you have just joined one of the best communities in existence. Seriously, there is nothing quite like this amazing group of people. So before we begin, I do have a few housekeeping tips that I need to share. First of all, we need to welcome back Randall. Not only did you see her in the fabulous pre-show, but now she is going to be our chat moderator. So you'll see the event chat on the right-hand side of your screen. Please use this place to connect with your fellow CF community members throughout tonight's event. We want to hear from you. I see that many of you are posting already. The Castanellas are out there. So thank you so much. Keep it coming in, because I do want to give you shout outs. It's a virtual event, but we want to keep this, personal up front together as much as we possibly can. We want it to feel like we're in the room together. Secondly, later tonight, we're going to be doing our Bid for the Cure in order to advance the foundation's mission. At that time, our incredible auctioneer, Robin Treadway, is going to come up here. I gotta 3,000. He's going to come up here and he's going to remind you how to easily make a donation. So don't worry about that. If you don't know how now, he's going to remind you. And for some reason, if you run into technical problems tonight, CFF staff members are here to help. Simply call 844-692-3435, which will be listed in the chat as well. Now, with that being said, it is my great pleasure to introduce Cam McLeod. Cam is chair of the foundation's National Board of Trustee and is from the beautiful state of South Carolina. As a CF mom to her late son, Will, Cam has dedicated her life to championing all of those with cystic fibrosis. Her leadership has been instrumental in driving the foundation's strong track record in CF research and care. She is also a seasoned executive with more than 36 years experience in leadership positions in the hospitality business. Cam, take it away.
Thank you, amazing Matt. Welcome and good evening to all of you. We are thrilled that you're here for this special evening, the second annual National Virtual Breath of Life celebration. It's wonderful to be here with so many friends from all parts of the country and all parts of our CF community. If you're joining us for the first time, we are so happy that you're here. As Matt said, and many of you know, the CF community is like none other. This evening, we come together to unite around our shared mission and celebrate the tremendous progress that we have made since being together last year. You will hear more about that progress in a moment. We have some wonderful friends and amazing entertainers with us tonight, true champions of our important cause who have stood by our side for decades. Victoria Shaw, we thank you for your generosity and your dedication. Your enduring support has raised awareness for CF and precious funds and given us all many moments of joy and lots of laughs over the years. We will also be joined by Stacy Carmona and Nick Kelly, two CF adults. This is one of the real benefits of having a virtual event. Stacy and Nick, we can't wait to hear your stories. We're also excited to honor a very special person and leader in the CF community, my dear friend and the foundation's former executive vice president and chief operating officer, Rich Mattingly. Throughout his nearly 4 decades of service to people with CF and their families, Rich's commitment to excellence and innovation has motivated countless others to strive as hard and aim as high as he always does. As the parent of a child with CF, I was moved by his drive, his sharp focus, and above all, his steadfast dedication to our mission to families like mine and yours. Rich, you have touched the lives of so many, and we are deeply indebted to you for your leadership, for your thoughtfulness, and for your compassion. Thank you, special friend. The theme for tonight's celebration is driven by a dream. From the moment my son Will was diagnosed, and all of you know what that's like, I knew I would do whatever I could to help him and others living with CF. It's the same drive that first inspired a group of parents in 1955 to gather in a living room and to establish the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. That drive continues to fuel a dream we share today, that every person with CF has a chance to live a long, healthy life, a life free of cystic fibrosis. Our common goal is to find a cure for all people with CF. It's an ambitious goal, but vital. By staying together, I know we will reach it. As we move into a new era in CF, we're deeply fortunate to have an extraordinary leader to help us take on challenging work ahead. Dr. Michael Boyle has been at the foundation for 6 years and has devoted his entire professional life to serving those with CF. Before becoming the foundation's president and CEO last year, Mike oversaw the foundation's clinical research programs. Earlier, he founded the Adult CF Center at Johns Hopkins University, where he served as center director for 2 decades and still provides care for people with CF to this day. It is my honor to welcome Mike and to thank all of you for being here for this special celebration.
Well, thank you, Cam. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Randall. It's absolutely wonderful to be together with all of you tonight. And thank you for joining us for the 2nd annual National Breath of Life celebration. You know, over the past year and a half, we've had plenty of challenges, right? But we have so much to be grateful for. And we're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate that tonight. You know, tonight we're coming to you from Opryland. And I was realizing that the last time I was here was in 1997 for my first North American Cystic Fibrosis Science Conference. You know, back then, the research on CFTR modulators, these amazing transformational medicines we have, had not even begun. It was about to start the next year after that in 1998. And most CF centers did not even have an adult CF program. And tonight we have Randall leading us through an adult with CF and leading the way for us. So just amazing to think how much progress we've made as a CF community since my last visit on the CF Foundation to Opryland. So a wonderful, wonderful thing to celebrate. Transformative medications for more than 90% of people with CF to now having adults lead the way. Again, a reason to celebrate and a reason to talk about the progress that we've made and we're going to continue to make. You know, each step of this progress brings us closer to realizing that dream that Randall, Cam, and all of us share, a cure for cystic fibrosis. And the driving force behind this continued progress and the fuel for our momentum is the amazing CF community. So thank you. Thank you, each one of you. Thank you for the extraordinary commitment to our shared mission. I want to start by reflecting on some of the highlights of what we've accomplished together over this past year, and then maybe pull back the curtain a little bit for a brief glimpse of what lies ahead. Now, you've certainly heard about our Path to a Cure, the CF Foundation's ambitious initiative to ensure development of new therapies and eventually a cure for all people with CF, no matter what mutations they have. We're currently funding 24 active major research programs through the Path to a Cure initiative, which cover a wide range of new genetic technologies, including RNA therapies, nonsense mutation therapies, gene therapy, and gene editing. This past August, we announced a collaboration with the Longwood Fund, a very well-known venture capital group, to accelerate genetic therapies for cystic fibrosis, just an example of the innovative ways that we're determined to use to bring forward new science in CF. This investment has already resulted in the development of 2 new companies focused on new genetic technology and path to a cure therapies. So as we seek new opportunities to invest in the development of these transformative therapies for tomorrow, we also continue to remember that we have to address the challenges of living with CF today. We have still so much work to do in those, and we're thrilled to see this continued innovation in areas such as infection with our Infection Research Initiative. We've been gaining ground in other areas such as lung transplantation, GI health, and women's health, all in an effort to make sure we address the challenges of living with CF today, even as we continue to make progress for tomorrow. So with so many advances in CF research and care, and despite the pandemic, overall, we've been excited to see the results from the CF patient registry of how people with CF are doing. They're faring fairly well overall, even during this time. Certainly part of that story has been the increasing availability of Trikafta worldwide and its expansion to children ages 6 to 11 in the US earlier this year. You saw that in some of the videos we were watching earlier, just the excitement around that and the impact. And what it's done is it's started to give us a glimpse of just the dramatic impact that we can have when we treat with highly effective CFTR modulators early in life. So good things ahead. I just got to share a few points that we came from the CF patient registry, which highlight the effect that these new medicines are having. So a few of those. So over the last decade, every year about 40% of adults with CF each year require treatment with IV antibiotics, oftentimes in the hospital, for treatment of exacerbations. This past year, with more people on Trikafta, only 17% of adults with CF in the US required treatment with IV antibiotics for pulmonary exacerbation, a dramatic decrease. We saw a similar decrease in children. Normally about 21% of children each year need IV antibiotics. This past year, only 10%. So a great sign of progress. Another exciting, something we've been called, or I've heard called, the Trikafta baby boom. So overall in the United States, pregnancy rate has actually decreased during the pandemic. But you know, in cystic fibrosis, the number of pregnancies among women with CF more than tripled. As a matter of fact, every year there's usually about 200 pregnancies in women with CF. That's the way it's been for years. This past year, not 200, 619. Just a sign of the increased health and the increased hope that we're seeing with these new therapies. So there's one last sort of landmark statistic that I have to talk about because it's such a big deal. You know, our goal as a community and at the CF Foundation is to ensure that all people with CF are living the longest, healthiest lives possible. And last year, our community achieved a remarkable landmark. As you know, every year in the CF patient registry, we calculate what the median predicted survival has been over the last 5-year block. And in the most recent 5-year block, from 2016 to 2020, median predicted survival reached 50 years of age for the first time ever. An amazing, amazing accomplishment and something we absolutely have to celebrate. I think it's also news that, yes, we'll celebrate, but it also makes us confident, more confident than ever, that we can achieve even greater things in the years ahead. Because you know what? 50 is great, but it is not good enough. So all of this progress, these wonderful things to celebrate, would not be possible with the strong leadership of so many across the CF community. You know, from the earliest days of the foundation, families, hundreds of families, have dared to dream big and act on their shared dreams. One of the leaders that has helped to make these big dreams come true is our treasured friend and tonight's honoree, Rich Mattingly. As the foundation's former executive vice president and chief operating officer, Rich brought the thing that we always look for at the foundation, head and heart. A head that's strategic, that thinks about how we're going to accomplish these goals, how we're going to move this ahead, with a heart that says how we're going to serve people with CF and their families. No better example of this than our tonight's honoree. So his leadership over many years, his steady focus on people who are at the heart of what we do, it's helped set us on this trajectory, a path to a cure for cystic fibrosis. We look forward to celebrating Rich's many lasting contributions tonight. So Rich, thank you for your leadership, and then thank you to all of you. Thank you for your passionate support. No matter what challenges we face, we're going to get through them, and together we're going to continue our remarkable progress towards defeating this disease. So thank you. I hope you enjoy this evening of celebration.
Thank you so much, Mike. I do want to give some shout outs to people watching We got people in Connecticut, Utah, Washington, Virginia. I just got this little note, super exciting. Lewis Black is online and he's watching us right now. Freaking love you, Lewis. I miss you. If you can hear me right now, just know you're my boy, Blue. I love you, man. Seriously, he's so awesome. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce you to somebody who is also awesome. She's kind of like one of those ladies, like I'm an ex-football player, so like when our star player would show up, I'd be like, yeah, man, like that's on my team. But when I introduce this lady, I'm like, yeah, bro, she's on my team. She is absolutely unbelievable. She's someone whose music you have already heard earlier this evening. She is a longtime friend of the CF Foundation. She is an award-winning singer and songwriter. She is none other than our very own Victoria Shaw. Victoria has recorded 4 studio albums. She's charted 5 singles on the Billboard Hot Country Singles and Track charts, and she has also co-written several #1 singles for other artists, including Garth Brooks, and she is the co-producer of the debut album of Lady A. With that being said, Victoria, take it away, sister.
Hey Rich, it's Victoria, and I'm so happy that you're being honored tonight. And I know you're cringing with all this attention, but you have to grin and bear it because you are so loved and you are so appreciated. I am so grateful that we met, 24 years ago through the One Heart at a Time project. And then you introduced me to my UGE family. I remember having lunch with you at the Midtown Cafe when you asked me to do that, and that was life-changing. You are amazing. I've learned so much from you, and I've enjoyed your company so much and appreciate your friendship so much and just love you so much. So sit back and enjoy all of this love bombing that's going on. And to keep it going, a friend of mine also wanted to congratulate you. So I'll turn it over to him right now. Mwah!
Hey Rich, Garth Brooks here. Victoria Shaw tells me that they are honoring you for 37 years of passion and leadership for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, thank you very, very much. You and I met in the studio a long time ago at the One Heart at a Time project that I was lucky enough to get to be a part of. Just one of a billion moments for you. Rich, one of my favorite sayings in life is, character is not created in crisis, yet character is revealed in crisis. And your character keeps showing up, even in your own personal tragedy. You join with your daughter, Kristen, and your son-in-law, Alex, and you guys create the Love You Project in honor of your beautiful wife, Carolyn. Whew, brother, I don't know if I can be that tough. But again, there's the character. Victoria talks about it all the time. She talks about everything because she talks and she talks and she talks. But what I love most is just when she told me, said, Garth, Rich is just a dear friend of mine and I love him very much. That right there says it all. I hope you are enjoying being honored. All of my love. And now to sing The River, which she wrote. Here's Victoria Shaw.
You know a dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows. And a dreamer is just a vessel that must follow where it goes. Trying to learn from what's behind you, never knowing what's in store, makes each day a constant battle just to stay between the shores. I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Too many times we stood aside These waters are my sky, I'll never reach my destination if I never try, so I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Yes, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Until the river runs dry.
Let's go, baby! Victoria Shaw, are you kidding me? I feel like I'm like chest bumping myself right now. That was awesome. I told y'all that this is your first time being with us. You're with the A team right now. Are you kidding me? Garth Brooks, Victoria Shaw, Rich Mattingly. I don't have a shout out for you in my script, so I'm just gonna speak from the heart, Rich. I love you too, so does my wife, Terry. Thank you so much for all you do. Rich, you are the man. Seriously, we love you. With that being said, I now want to switch gears. I want to welcome Joe O'Donnell. Joe reminds us that we can't defeat CF alone. As chair of the Milestone 3 campaign and past chair of both Milestones 1 and 2 campaigns, Joe continues to bring CF, their donors and their families together to raise millions of dollars. What began as one father's impassioned crusade to help his beloved son Joey, who unfortunately lost his battle to CF, has ultimately led to remarkable advancements in CF research. Please welcome the one and only, the incredible, the amazing Joe O'Donnell.
Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you for that introduction. It's a great honor to serve cystic fibrosis. It's been a great honor to serve cystic fibrosis for all these years, all these decades. And it's especially a great honor to recognize Rich Mattingly, my pal, our pal. And basically, I believe with all my soul that this doesn't happen. We are not here at this moment without Rich. I met Rich 43 years ago. My Joey was probably 3 or 4 years old at the time, and cystic fibrosis was in desperate shape. I mean, it had just been, actually, it was discovered in 1955, and we had no hope. I had never heard the words before Joey was diagnosed. Rich came in, and the young Rich did everything. Without us, any of us knowing it, he was laying the foundation for the next 50 years. In 1985, 86, Rich was on the road 200 nights, 200 separate nights. He was out on his own, and our whole world changed. Rich was running the best charitable organization in America, in the world. I respected his ability to make judgments that were far beyond anything that I would have expected, and basically steered that ship right through. And we centralized the entire organization, which was critical, and maybe the most important part of what we see today when we look out there and we see one unit and one fabulous operation of people who care about the same thing, who understand the same thing, who benefit and help each other. That's what we have, and those seeds were planted a long time ago and nurtured and watered and basically implemented by Rich's dedication and intelligence. He was a very smart fellow. I believe that there are so many heroes, and there are heroes in the clinics, there are heroes in the care centers, there are heroes, CF heroes, there's patients. I guess when I think of CF heroes, honoring you is almost like, how can you do enough to compensate for your lifelong drive and your intelligence and the way you put this whole thing together, and your unprecedented impact on so many tens of thousands of patients and their families, because it is a multiplier. And so you've affected thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of children and their parents. And I want to tell you, in case you don't know, how much we all love you. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, Joe. As you know, you continue to be an inspiration to so many of us. Now it is my great pleasure to welcome Jane and Rex Huggins and their beautiful daughter, Mary Elizabeth. I've gotten to know this family over the years, as well as my wife, Terry, and I. We absolutely love the Huggins. They mean so much to this foundation, and their daughter's story is unbelievable. Mary Elizabeth has CF, but it doesn't hold her back from enjoying life to the fullest. The Huggins family has been long-standing supporters of the CF Foundation for over 2 decades. And again, we want to thank them for being one of our presenting sponsors tonight, along with the Schaefer family. With that being said, I love you guys. Come on up here. Give it up for the Huggins family. I'm hugging you. I'm hugging you now as I'm walking away. Jane, I love you. I'm hugging you.
Rich, it's our honor to present you with the Breath of Life Award on behalf of all CF families and friends. Thank you, Rex. Thank you.
Mr. Rich, you've changed my life, you've changed more lives than you can imagine, and we couldn't be more proud to recognize you tonight. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, and thank you. I am very grateful for this special evening, and you are my extended family. I miss you, and I miss seeing you, and I hope more than you'll ever know that the day will come soon when we can get together in person, hug and laugh, and talk about many stories that we've shared together. Nothing would be more fulfilling to me. There are simply too many people that I'm thinking of right now that I can't even begin to mention them all. I certainly thank Mike for your kind words and your great leadership. Cam, your kind words and your great leadership. Certainly all the people that have spoken tonight, the Huggins family, who I adore and have come to know and treasure their friendship. I think of Gail and Billy Greenberg tonight, and Mitchell. Casey White, somebody and her family that's so very special to me, who serves as a member of the foundation board, but I've known her since she was a very young lady, and I'm very proud to say she's a wonderful mother to a very special young man in my life. Vic, you've touched me in many ways, many times, but never like tonight. That was a terrific tribute. I love your friendship, and God, do I love your talent. Man, do you have a beautiful way of telling a story and singing a song. And to my buddy Lewis, we've laughed together for 25 years, and you mean the world to this organization, and your talent and kindness is treasured. So many colleagues that I'd like to chat about. Again, I couldn't begin to mention them all, but Josie in Maryland, and Sissy in Texas, and Leah and Helen that have been so good, and the executive directors all across this country who every day, along with their teams, work to make a difference in the fight against cystic fibrosis and make this a better organization. Even today, as an organization that stands in so much esteem and so well respected. I had the tremendous privilege, and I mean that from the heart, of working with some of the best people in the world who not only had great talent and passion and commitment, but they cared deeply that they did things well and that they did it right. And they made me proud an awful lot. But even since I've retired, their friendship and to just sit and to talk to them and to see, as I did today, so many of the enormous, passionate people come together. I thank you for the opportunity to work with you. I could go on mentioning names for 2 hours. I won't. But I've got to talk about my dear friend Joe, whose wisdom and friendship has meant more to me than you will ever know. We worked awfully close for a long time as we were building milestones, and over the years we worked in many different places. And one night I remember standing up off the cuff and saying, "This guy is precious." Well, you don't call Joe O'Donnell precious a lot. He's a lot of things, but precious was a unique way of introducing him, he told me. Joe, you are precious. You're one special guy. What you mean to the cystic fibrosis community is beyond description, but what you mean to me and your kindness is the reason why so many people have followed you. And together we're going to continue to do some awfully good work to make a difference so that Mike and the team can finish this project. When I began working with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in 1977, we had pennies in the bank. We had all the heart in the world, but very little focus. And that changed. And that changed drastically, particularly in the 70s, late 70s and the 80s. Our hearts were fueled by finding the gene and drug development that followed. Especially exciting are the comments of Dr. Boyle this evening. And reflections, they come so easy to me when thinking about the past 40-some years. I have treasured memories from every state in this country, every chapter, every event that I ever visited, whether it be large or small. And clearly I have fond memories of New York and the great events there in Seattle that were just awesome. Yet I'm reminded tonight of my good friend Frank DeFord, who served as our chairman for 16 years, that, and he referenced often, we must depend upon the kindness of strangers. And it was bringing new strangers in and making friends out of those that began to transition our organization. And Frank always said, don't ever forget about middle America or the smaller markets or whatever. Everybody counts, regardless of their size. So the evolution of our chapter and volunteer structure became the greatest asset a charity could ever hold. Always ranked as one of the most efficient charities in America, and I still am very, very proud of that. It wasn't always easy, and it was not without a lot of fun either. But the friendships that were built are enormous. They provide great satisfaction. And as we clawed our way along the path, there were things that happened that transformed science, and in many ways have transformed modern medicine. But make no mistake, the greatest asset of this organization, and I said it many times over the years, and I say it from the heart tonight, are the families of those that have cystic fibrosis in them. The parents, the children, and especially today, the young men and women that live with CF daily. You have risen up to take control of your destiny and to change the direction of this disease in new and important ways. You touched my heart in many ways in 37 years as you laid the foundation for many changes within our foundation. But you also helped set me on a path in the work that I do now in mental health through the Love You Project dedicated to my wife. For many of you urged me to pay attention back then to the important need for mental health in this country. There have been dozens of charities that want to replicate the CF story. I can tell you that because many of them call me to be part of that. It's one thing to say it when you work for the organization. It's another to say when you're outside and you see it. It is as genuine as you have heard it to be, and your success is in demand greater than ever before. Again, what the people that want to replicate the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation do not understand is the power of the people that are the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. There is simply no other organization like this in disease or even in the spectrum of philanthropy in America. It is used as a model for how to get together to stay focused on a common goal. The parents, the people, the families with cystic fibrosis are magic. The power and the reason there is science today is because of you. New drugs and new hope are because of you. You raised the dollars, you invested wisely, and you demanded results. I am profoundly grateful for the honor and the recognition that you give me this evening. I only wish that I was here to share it with Carolyn, my late wife, who deserves to be here as well. She loved you. You took her into your hearts and you came to know her and you welcomed her. She knew that. I am now a grandfather. I have a 2-year-old little girl that I treasure, Charlotte Carolyn, little Charlie. And my daughter, Kristen, and Alex, and her husband, Alex, are watching tonight. I ended every speech I gave for more than 25 years on behalf of the CF Foundation from my heart. And tonight, I modify it just a bit, but the gist is still the same. I used to say money buys science and science buys life. Money has bought an awful lot of science, fawns and dances and every kind of way you can imagine. And as a result, that science has bought much, much life. I look forward to the finish line, but I'm going to modify my ending tonight one more time. And this is for you, Joe. An old Irish proverb: there are good ships and wood ships, ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships. May they always be. God love you, my friends.
How do you follow that? That was unbelievable. I had, I can't help but think, I'm on the side and I'm watching Rich speak and obviously getting choked up because what people don't know is like, I just dropped my son off at his soccer game before I drove here, and I didn't even think about cystic fibrosis. I remember when he was little, and I'd think about, don't get around the other kids, and don't, if you hear someone coughing, stay away, and if you fall down, don't touch the dirt, and don't dig in grass, and all this stuff when he was little. And now, like, I don't want to say I take it for granted, because I don't, but like, my wife and I, we don't even think about that stuff anymore. And then when you look at the clips of what Rich has done over the years and everything he's done, like, I don't ever want to take for granted the price that you paid for the blessing that we now get to walk in because of what you've done over the years. So just honestly, thank you. Like, that was awesome. I don't ever want to lose that moment of what you've done over the years. So thank you, Rich. With that being said, we are so happy to celebrate this evening with you. And with that being said, I'm thrilled to introduce someone tonight who reminds us all why we are here tonight. Oh snap, I should have read my script because her name is Stacy Motenko-Carmona, and she's gonna make me cry again too because here she is. Stacy, I could share so many great stories about you, but all I can tell you is thank you for all of the days that you saved my wife tears from battling insurance companies and getting our medicines when we needed them, when my wife would sit on hold for hours with people who couldn't help her, and then she would just call you and you would make everything better for her. So from that standpoint, as a dad, thank you, or as a husband, thank you, but as a dad, I have a 7-year-old girl and now a baby girl on the way. And I just remember you were one of the first people I met, you and your parents, the Motenko family. And I always looked up to your family, and I always watched you and kind of tracked you from a distance to kind of gauge how my daughters would be growing up. And you inspire me, you encourage me, because watching you grow and what you've done over the years obviously gave my wife and I courage to have a baby girl in the first place when we thought we were done with our son after he was born. And then now, of course, another baby girl. So just thank you for your heart and who you are, and thank you to your family. With that being said, you are here to share a little bit about your journey of CF and, of course, your dream for the future. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Matt. I'm honored to be part of this special event and to be sharing my story. I want to start by saying a heartfelt thank you to our honoree, Rich Mattingly. There are really no adequate words to properly thank you, but I hope that you know how much you are loved, how widespread your impact is, and how grateful we are that you devoted so much of yourself to this cause. The CF community wouldn't be what it is today without you. The medical research wouldn't be what it is today without you. And I might not be here today without you. I was diagnosed shortly after my birth. The doctors sat my parents down to tell them that I had cystic fibrosis and to explain my prognosis. They advised them to love me and to cherish the time that they had with me, but not to expect me to live to be an adult. My early years included the removal of half of my small intestine, having bronchitis and pneumonia 8 times in one winter, and a month-long hospital stay when I was in kindergarten. CF put a cloud of worry and anxiety over our family, and my health had to be a factor in every decision we made. What I remember most about my childhood was longing to fit in and keep up with my peers. I was extremely self-conscious about being so skinny, and I was teased for missing so much school. I had to learn to swallow pills at the age of 3 and had to stay inside hooked up to machines when my friends were outside playing. I have vivid memories of crying as the lab technicians drew my blood and the nurses put IVs in my arm. And in those scary moments, I dreamt of a world where CF did not exist. But it wasn't until I was 10 years old that I learned the harsh reality of my disease when my first CF friend, Sarah, passed away at the age of 12. I was devastated by the death of a friend and at the implications for my own life. And throughout the years, as I tragically lost more friends to this disease, I continued to dream about a cure for CF. I believe that CF has made me both incredibly resilient and incredibly stubborn. Even though life with CF is often 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and I have to work harder at everything I do, I refuse to let CF limit my life. There have been so many times when I have overcome obstacles and refused to give up. Like the time I studied abroad in Australia and ended up in the emergency room with an intestinal blockage on my very first day there. I was 19 years old, completely alone in a foreign country on the other side of the world, and my parents urged me to come home. But I chose to stay and face my fears. And my year in Australia, although challenging, was one of my happiest times. Like when I missed more days of high school than I attended due to lung infections and GI issues, but I graduated with a high GPA and insisted on going away to my dream school several hours from my home. Like the time I had to take a semester off from college because I was in the hospital and oxygen dependent for the first time in my life. But I went back to school the next semester and worked hard to graduate on time with my friends and with honors. Like the time I tried to start a family and endured numerous rounds of fertility treatments with many failures, but never gave up hope. And I have my miracle son, Micah, who is now 18 months old. My life has been an example of thriving despite a series of challenges. In fact, my friends call me Murphy, referring to Murphy's Law, that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. If there's a 5% chance that a side effect will occur, I am usually in that 5%. Yet, despite all of this, I'm living a longer, healthier, more productive life than I or my doctors ever expected. I have had virtually every issue that can occur with CF, including a lifetime of intestinal blockages, chronic sinus infections resulting in numerous surgeries, hemoptysis, liver disease, pancreatic insufficiency, CF arthritis, diabetes, and infertility, to name a few. But I have also eaten sushi in Japan, been skydiving over the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, bungee jumping in New Zealand, swam with sharks in the Bahamas, and explored the ruins in Italy. Today, I am living 16 years past my life expectancy. I'm married, with a child, and a fulfilling career. There are still many hard days, and adulthood with CF has come with its own set of challenges. I still live in fear of getting sick and of my lung function declining. However, I make the daily choice to keep fighting. And every night, as I close my eyes to sleep, I dream of a life without CF. A life without spending 2 hours a day taking breathing treatments and doing airway clearance. A life without insulin injections and digestive enzymes with every meal. A life without constant doctor's appointments, coordinating care, and refilling medications. A life without daily coughing fits and tiring easily. Without hospital stays, PICC lines, and IV antibiotics. A life where I can take full, deep breaths. While I dream about what could be, I try to focus on what is. I have found my happy place in motherhood. My son Micah loves to snuggle. He lays his head on my chest, and I close my eyes and sing you are my sunshine. When he runs, he has a little hop in his step. He smiles at me, and there can be no bad in the world. He recently learned how to give kisses, and when he plants a wet one on my mouth, my heart skips a beat. He loves to take breathing treatments, just like his mama. These are just a few of the many, many moments with Micah that I cherish. I am so grateful to be getting to experience the greatest joy of my life, being a mom. And I am very aware that this miracle was possible because of the dedication of heroes like Rich Mattingly and the kindness and generosity of people like you. 34 years ago, when the doctors gave my grim prognosis, what they didn't account for was the CF community. They didn't foresee that a small but mighty group of individuals could change the course of this disease and ultimately the outcome for those of us with CF. It is truly incredible to think about how far we have come, to have taken the life expectancy from 18 when I was born to 47 today, to have developed modulator therapies that don't just treat the symptoms of CF, but treat the basic defect for many. While we celebrate our successes, we must also recognize that we are not done. We still have a lot of work to do, and we must continue to be driven by our dream of a world without CF. It isn't enough to help some people with CF. There are still thousands of people who do not have a medication for their CF mutations, and I am one of those people. We are still waiting for a miracle drug to save our lives. We have seen that it's possible. We have seen the impact of these medications on many of our friends. We feel their joy, knowing that their lives are transformed forever, that they can expect to live with CF, not die from it. I spent most of my life resigned to the understanding that CF would take my life at an early age. I couldn't imagine that there would actually be a medication capable of changing that reality. But now that I know it's possible, I want it so badly. I want it for myself, for my family, and all the others with CF who, like me, are still waiting. But now, most of all, I want it for my son Micah, so he can grow up with a mother. I am driven by a dream, the same dream that every person in this community has. The dream of a world without CF. We have seen the powerful impact of our community. We know that when we work together towards a common goal, the seemingly impossible can become possible. Let's make our dream a reality and end CF for good. Thank you.
So awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy, for sharing your story with us. Unbelievably and incredibly moving. You are such an amazing person, an amazing mom, and an inspiration to all of us. I'm sure there's not a dry eye in the house. And for many of us here, we identified with a lot of what you said, except for me, the part where you said where you graduated with a high GPA. I have no idea what that's like. But we do dream of a better future for our loved ones with CF. We love you so much. And we do want that future free of medications and complications of any kind. We want a cure for this disease. So by raising funds tonight, we can get one step closer to realizing that dream. And with that being said, it's my pleasure to introduce one of my good friends, our auctioneer, probably the greatest auctioneer on the planet, Robin Treadway. Robin has supported the CF Foundation events just a few times, right, Robin? Just a few, 1 or 2 times. Robin has been by our side for more than 3 decades. Woo. That being said, I'm air chest bumping you from here, big man. I love you. Robin Treadway, everybody.
Thank you,
Come
Matt.
on now.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much, Matt. I am so thrilled to be here tonight. Stacy, that was just a great story, and I know Debbie and Paul, your mom and dad, are so proud of you. We've got an opportunity tonight. I miss seeing you so much in person and in live. I wish you were all in the room tonight because you know what we could all do together, but I'm really feeling good tonight. I wanted to shout and scream all night long, Matt.
Yeah, I gotta get 3,000.
Right. So Matt's going to help me, but we are going to raise a lot of money. I feel it. I'm feeling really good tonight. So I know a lot of you have been to CF events before, and you know what Bid for a Cure is. And for those that don't know what Bid for a Cure is, it's one of the most unique fundraising experiences you'll ever participate in. You can bid for a cure, and it's a 100% tax deductible contribution to cystic fibrosis. It's the greatest way you can buy science and give money and get 100% write-off, number one, but that's not what it's about. It's feeling good about it. We want you to give till it hurts a little bit, but we want you to feel really good in your heart. So let's support Stacy and let's support cystic fibrosis by submitting donations tonight. So what we're going to do, we'll start the bidding from high to low. We'll start at the level of $100,000 and we'll go down. We'll give everybody an opportunity. Like I said, we want you to give till it hurts. I do anyway. But we want you to give till it feels really good. To bid tonight, please go to the cure, to the Bid for a Cure link that was sent to you by Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. If you have any issues whatsoever with submitting your gift, please call the support hotline that you'll see on the chat feature. I think it's over the side of your computer there. Go to the chat feature, it's got the phone number, call them and they'll take your call. I promise you, they'll pick right up. Your donations will automatically be downloaded in real time so that you can see and watch your progress. And Matt, you're going to help me holler.
I'm going to give you some shout outs, baby.
Shout out, baby. And we're going to move the bar to get closer and closer. So we're ready to go. I'm feeling really good about this tonight. So let's make a lot of money and let's start at $100,000. Anybody give $100,000? 100. Anybody $100,000? The money is rolling in, Matt.
Here it comes.
Look,
It's starting to roll in. Look at that.
The money is rolling in. Holy cow. Holy cow. Anybody give $100,000?
We got the money rolling in right now.
560-1233.
I'm waiting to see our first $100,000. I'm seeing a lot of others, so keep giving where you can, but I wanted to wait to shout out any names in case we do have that $100,000 donor.
I'm feeling it. Anybody?
If it comes across, I might do a backflip off this stage. I don't think I'm on camera with you right now, but I will be, and I'll do a backflip.
I'll move over where you can be.
$100,000.
Anybody $100,000? Let's move to $50,000. $50,000. Anybody 50?
Yes,
50.
we have a handful
we
of 50s.
We do have 50.
Here
Rex,
it comes.
Thank you. 50,000.
I'm going to give it right now.
Rex.
Here it comes.
Rex and Jane. Lewis Black.
Rex and Jane Huggins. 50,000, like you said.
Lewis Black. Lewis, $50,000. Anybody else?
All right, here we go. Here comes
50,000.
Schaefer family, they are anonymous. They have been doing some unbelievable stuff. There you go.
Carol and Bob Greco, 50,000.
Steve Orlando.
Steve Orlando,
LSU.
50 grand.
Come
All
on,
right. Woo.
In honor of Stephanie Schaefer, 37,500.
37,500. Fantastic. I'm getting cold chills up here. Okay, let's go down to 25,000. Anybody want to give $25,000? 25,000. 25,000. Anybody? The money is rolling in. I'm watching it roll in down here.
The Johnson family just gave $20,000. Ken and Debbie Johnson.
I miss you, Ken and Debbie. Thank you very much, Ken and Debbie. All right, anybody else for 25,000? 25,000. Anybody for $10,000 tonight?
We have a lot of 10,000.
10,000. We have a ton of $10,000.
There we go. There's my father-in-law, Dougie Himes, $10,000.
Dougie, all right. Woo! Anybody else? 10,000. 10,000. Anybody? 10,000. Anybody else? I know we have some.
There's coming. I'll replay them
okay.
when it scrolls
Let's move
through.
to $5,000. $5,000.
Amy Berry just gave $5,000.
Amy, thank you, Amy. Who else? $5,000. Anybody? They're rolling in here. 5,000. Anybody else? $5,000. Anybody? Thank you. Okay, $2,500. Anybody want to give $2,500? $2,500. Anybody? 25. There they come.
They're coming through right now.
They're coming through big time. We're making a lot of money tonight.
Sue and Dave Hook at 15 grand.
15,000.
I love you, Hooks.
The Smiths, $10,000.
Mike and Cindy Hendricks at $6,500.
Woo! All right.
65 key number for 65 roses. A lot of 65s tonight. Mike and Mosing, the Maras, just gave 10 grand. Jeannie and Tom Hughes, the Elmores, 10 grand. And look at all these.
Ron and Gloria Glaze Miser, $5,000. Ron Gloria, hello. I'm glad you're here. Okay, $1,000. Many of you out there want to give $1,000 tonight. $1,000 are rolling in. $1,000. Margaret, thank you. Who
Mark
else?
And Carl
$1,000.
Sizemore, 2,000. Robin Treadway, you, before you got up here, gave $2,500, you big stud.
I'm
Love you, Robin.
I'm a cheapskate, aren't I?
This is really key. A lot of people are giving $65 donations.
What do we got here?
$65 donations are important because it symbolizes cystic fibrosis. If we can get 100 people to give $65, that is $6,500.
It is $6,500.
We can do that.
We can do it. Hey, Matt, right now we've got $515,000.
Get it, baby.
Come on now. I want to get to that $1 million.
We can.
I think we can. I think we can. Anybody else for 1,000? Okay, what about 500 bucks? Let's see some $500 donations roll in. Come on now. Let's do it. 500 bucks. 500. Anybody for 500? 500. Keep on giving, folks. We're going to stay open for a long time, so you can keep on giving after we're closed, all right? What about 250?
Can you give the new people a little taste of what you really come with when they're live? Like, hey, 250.
250, 500, 700, 1,000, Matt.
Keep going, keep going.
A little horse tonight, 1,250, 2,000.
Yes.
What about $100,000?
Come on, baby. I love it.
All right, so we're now $250. Anybody for $250? $250, anybody? All right, what about $100? Everybody can give $100. Everybody can give $100. You can give any amount you want to give.
Margaret Castellina, we love you.
We love you.
Morris H. Rosenberg, Diana Higgins.
We love it. We love it.
Jeffrey Goldman. Look at all these.
We'll take anything you want to give.
Chris
Just log on, bid. We need to raise a lot of money. We need to buy the science to cure cystic fibrosis.
How about your man Perry Clark just dropped 1,000?
Perry
Shauna
Clark!
Johnson. Tell Shauna you love her.
Shauna, I love you too. Perry, gosh, I love you. Wills, I miss you so much. We can't wait to see you again in person, now that you're of drinking age. So we'll be back in person before you know it. Feel free to pick up any amount or give any amount you want to give. These are all wonderful donations. They're still rolling in. We're so excited. Please don't stop giving. Remember, if you have trouble making a donation, you can call 855-560-1233. But wait, make sure you give. We want you to give all night long. Thank you so much, or all through the years you can give to CF. Let's keep giving all night long. Matt will be sure to share the updates throughout the show tonight. And we thank you so much. I miss seeing you all. I love you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Matt Rodgers.
Hey, as you walk off, can you go, hey,
what 5 30, 40, 50. Bye, Matt.
I love you, Robin. You're the man. You're the best. I wish I could do that. Hey, I got to get out here 3,000, 4,000. All right. Victoria Shaw, you just gave $1,000 2 times. God bless you. Don't know if you accidentally hit the return button twice, but we're taking it. $2,000. We love you, Vic. Thank you so much. Stephanie Von Eisenberg, $6,500. Lisa Hopkins, Leah Bell, coming in discreet. A little anonymous. All right. You can say anonymous. All right. But I can look at the back channels when we're done, Leah. I'll find out. I'm going to give you a shout out. Seriously, thank you guys so much. Leah and Robin just gave you an update. We are over $500,000. We are raising a lot of money to help cure CF. I hope you guys feel as exhilarated as we do in the room. There's not many of us, me, Robin, a couple other people, but we're so happy. We're so excited. So please just know that you can keep giving. That's why we're doing this. So please don't stop now. And again, thank you so much to everybody who just donated and continue to donate. So let's keep it going to see how much we can raise tonight. We're going to come back at the end to give you probably a grand total, but so far it has been amazing. With that said, we are so grateful for all of the support, and so is every person living with CF. Now, I want to welcome our gold sponsors for this evening, friends of Hook the Cure and IoTech. Go ahead.
We are driven by the dream that one day every person with cystic fibrosis will live a long and healthy life. I'm Bob Houston, co-chairman of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation Hook the Cure tournament. My 23-year-old son, Will, has cystic fibrosis. On behalf of everyone associated with Hook the Cure, we salute Rich Mattingly for your compassion, leadership, and commitment. Rich, because of you, we will hook the cure.
Because of Rich, we can hook the cure, and we love you so much. Because of Rich. I love you, Rich. Seriously. I say what's on my mind. I say what's on my mind. Seriously. Honestly, thank you so much, friends of Hook the Cure and IoTech. You are all unbelievable and awesome. We are now thrilled to pass it to our friends at Tito's, who are going to be sharing the 2021 CFF Finest Honoree. Robin is already in the back by the bar with 2 bottles in his hands of Tito's. Thank you so much, our CFF Finest Honoree, who has raised the most amount of money this year. Check this out.
On behalf of Dave, Derek, and the folks at Tito's, it is my honor to recognize the highest fundraising finest in the country. Please help me raise a toast to Nathan Perdue for raising over $400,000. $400,000 on behalf of the Indiana Purple Tie Ball. Congratulations, Nathan. Thank you, sir.
There you go, Nathan. Look at you all dapper in that slim fit and blue suit. If I looked like you, I would have never got voted off American Idol. You're freaking gorgeous. Well done. From one CF dad to another, honestly, thank you so much, Nathan. That is absolutely phenomenal. We also want to thank Tito's for their incredible support across so many CF Foundation events. And I also want to congratulate the top finest class that raised the most money this year. Indiana's Purple Tie Ball. Check this out. They raised over $470,000. Come on. That is awesome. Now, I have the great pleasure to let you hear from Amit Sachdev. He is the Chief Patient Officer at Vertex Pharmaceuticals, and as you may know, Vertex has helped drive so much remarkable progress in the research over the years. Amit, take it away. Rich, I would have sang you another song right there, but I couldn't think of one that had the word dedication in it, but we love you. And again, thank you so much to the good people at Vertex. You have helped drive so much scientific progress for those living with CF. And we also want to express thanks to all of tonight's amazing sponsors. Thank you again to our presenting sponsors, the Huggins family and the Schaefer family. Love you so much, Jaded Rex. Seriously, if you're looking for one more kid, I'm totally available. Just going to throw that out there. No pressure. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And I also want to acknowledge our gold sponsors of tonight's event. They are American Airlines, friends of Hook the Cure and IoTech, Hal and Sharon Lampert, Tito's, Vertex Pharmaceuticals, Inc., and John and Amy Weinberg. Thank you so much. We also have some incredible silver and bronze sponsors. You should be able to see their logos right now. Thank you all so much. Seriously, all of these sponsorships help drive our mission forward and making a big impact in the lives of those living with CF. Thank you so much to all of those amazing organizations. Be sure that you check out the digital program book if you haven't already to see all of the incredible sponsors who help make tonight's event possible, as well as heartfelt messages that celebrate our honoree. Now, I am excited to introduce you to somebody whose charisma, creativity, and dedication to the Foundation's mission is beyond admirable. It's downright awesome. This guy lights up a room. He makes people smile, and I'm pretty sure, actually, I know that he's going to make you smile tonight, and he's going to inspire you. His name is Nick Kelly, and he's from Cleveland, Ohio. Nick was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at the age of 3 months, and like many people with CF, he's absolutely unstoppable. He has never let cystic fibrosis stand in the way of his dreams. Nick earned a bachelor's and a master's degree from Bowling Green State University and became a dietitian. But did you also know that this dietitian is a poet, he's an artist, an educator, and a dancer? He uses his talents to spark joy among so many people, namely our remarkable CF community. Nick is all in when it comes to giving back. His positive influence and radiant energy make spending any amount of time with him a very, very special experience. So it's my great pleasure to welcome the talented Nick Kelly, who's going to talk a little bit about his dream. Nick?
I have a dream. It's that simple, or at least they say. I have a dream that one day CF will stand for Cure Found. But it's profound that one day always has looked like someday. But that someday is always so far in the future, I can't see it. It's like miles away. Miles away, I float to the ground like Miles Morales, only to have somebody look at me like, oh, he's stylish. But he don't understand the pain that I feel because all my love is on the outside. Everything I do comes from the outside. So as I raise myself up, I begin to look to the sky, understand why, that this is something that needs to be. And everything I do it for the we. Everything I need to be, everything I need to see. Understand, I don't do it for the me, I do it for the we. Understand, I don't do it for the me, I do it for the we. One more time, just in case you didn't understand why I'm passionate and why I live. I don't do it for the me, I do it for the we. I do it for my family, I do it for the CLE. That's a part of me. But understand, when I look at these people, they never get to see the insides of my outside. They don't understand with every breath I take, with every breath I take, with every breath I take is another moment for my lungs to quit. I'm sitting here looking at fate like, why did you choose me? Why did you put this pressure on my back? I understand that you thought I could be strong enough to carry and hold this pain, but me, I'm going insane on the inside. All I can think about is the day that someday CF will stand for Cure Found, and I find myself looking to the sky, asking myself, wondering why. Shall everyone and you could be. I do it for them. I do it for the we. I do it for my family. I do it for the people that I say breathe easy to. Understand that these people are part of me. Everything in my life I drive to be. I drive for thee. So when I say I have a dream, that means they have a dream. That means I have a dream. That means everything we can see. That means one day CF will no longer be bound by me. That I do not have CF. CF will no longer have me. Understand, my drive is what keeps me alive. And my dream is that sometime we won't have to talk about thee.
Dude, mic drop moment. That was unbelievable. Seriously, I'm so glad my sons are watching that. Nick, I want you to, A, I want to be your friend, and B, I want you to come over to my house and I want you to motivate my kids like every day. That was unbelievable. I hope all of you are applauding at home right now. That was absolutely unbelievable. Thank you so much, Nick. And thank you again to each and every one of you that are joining us tonight for this very important event. We are so grateful again to our sponsors and everybody who gave during Bid for a Cure. If you didn't get a chance to give, please consider doing so. That's why we are all here tonight and why you are watching. We're going to continue to take donations even after the event. And with that being said, I want you to know, do we have a total yet? I'm looking to our people on the side. Right now we're at $533,000. We're at $533. So please continue to give. That is awesome. It's so important that we continue to do, again, whatever we can to fight this disease for Stacy, for Nick, for my kids, and for everybody and all of you who are fighting cystic fibrosis. Again, like we always say, and it'll never get old until it happens, let's make CF stand for Cure Found. I remember that was one of the first things they said to us when we found out, and I've been standing on that for the last 13 years. The difference now is my confidence level is through the roof, and I know that it's going to stand for Cure Found. With that being said, have a great night, and we hope to see you at the North American Cystic Fibrosis Conference on November 2nd through the 5th. With that said, good night, everybody. We love you, and thank you for joining us.